Hello guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Mackenzie, and today's video we're gonna show you how to properly reset your breaker. All right, especially when you actually purchase a home, they don't actually come in the box. All right, that's the original box. If you purchase them, and if you didn't receive the box, most likely you don't have the owner's manual for them. So the owner's manual actually give you some tips and tricks how to actually properly reset these, and you have a better idea of what's going on in that circuit. All right, you will know if it's an arc fault, you will know if it's a ground fault, if it's an overload, you will know all these. We're gonna get to the video because it's gonna be a short video, and then we'll talk later. We're using a circuit analyzer so we can do the ground fault and arc fault. Okay, how to actually test this out? When your breaker trip, from the trip position while it's in the middle, switch it off. Hold the reset button, still hold the reset button, switch it back on. Still hold the reset button, it's gonna trip again. But this time it's gonna trip at certain time frame where you're gonna be able to tell. Because less than a second is a ground fault, 2 seconds is an arc fault, 5 seconds is an overload on the circuit. As you guys can see how fast it tripped. Before I can even remove my finger, it tripped. All right. On the trip position, switch it off, press the reset button. While still holding the reset button, switch it on. Then you're gonna trip at a certain time, which is less than a second is a ground fault. In our case, we have a ground fault. All right, guys, next up gonna be the arc fault. You already know the concept of it, so I'm not gonna explain as much. I'm just gonna let the video roll in and interrupt just slightly in the middle, and it's not gonna be much because you already understand. All right. All right, there you have it. 2 seconds. We already know what it means. It's an arc fault. And it was just a tester. It's not something that happened in the circuit. We were just testing it. And one thing I wanted to share with you guys, if you guys actually purchasing the tester, you guys are testing it out. Remember, dual function stand for it have arc fault inside of this breaker, have arc fault, and also it have GFCI. But if you have a circuit that only have an arc fault on there, you can only press the arc fault button. If you press the GFCI button, it will not work. All right. And also vice versa. If you have a circuit that only have a ground fault in there, not the dual function, because the dual function have the ground fault and arc fault. That's a dual function breaker. But you're gonna find other breaker that have the yellow reset button. That's an arc fault breaker. But this one, the yellow sticker, sorry, the yellow sticker, that's gonna be a ground fault, but the white sticker, that's gonna be arc fault. But this dual function carry both of them in there, so that's why you can search for both. But if you purchase this one instead, which I recommend you purchase dual function for your entire home, but if you purchase this one instead in your panel, you can only search for arc fault. Also vice versa, if you only have the yellow sticker, you can only do ground fault. Okay, you only protected for ground fault. All right, I'm gonna show you a slap video how I test for ground fault, and then my device tell me that it failed. As you guys can see, it does not work. Why did it work? Because the device does not have the technology for GFCI to protect you from ground fault interruption. Okay, it only have arc fault. Arc fault, that's what causes spark. If you're plugging something those spark, that's what we would call an arc. It's way much more than that, but for you to understand, but when you plug in your phone, you see that bzz, yeah, that's an arc. that's an arc happening by you connecting inside that receptacle. It causes an arc. That's what it's protecting you from. And if that happened on a major scale, it will trip the breaker. And since the breaker does not have a ground fault technology, if you actually put your finger inside that receptacle box, you get in shock, the breaker would not be aware of that because it does not have that technology in there. So I try to simplify it for you guys. There's way much more than that. But yes, that's the main concept from that. So it doesn't have the technology in there, so it didn't trip. So we're gonna go back, we're gonna test for arc fault, then you're gonna see that same breaker for the family room, number 16, it's gonna trip. All right. There you have it, guys. We test the arc fault, now it reacting because it have the technology of an arc fault inside of it. Okay. And we're gonna go back at the panel so we can show you that breaker. It should be number 16 because that's the breaker we are in, which is in the family room. And also remember, other brand might come with a different color on the reset button for their breakers. All right, guys, that's about it for this video. All right, I'm gonna see you guys pretty soon on the next video. All right, if you are doing residential, this is gonna be the channel for you. Okay, and see you in the next video.